Hey everyone, CraftyLori here today, and I'm here to give you creative inspiration, and I am going to show you how to make this zippered bag. It's a box bag out of a placemat, and this is a quilted placemat, and it's by the Pioneer Woman, and these are at Walmart, and they are around $3. That's the bag. That is what the bag is going to look like. Super cute, and it's it's a boxy bag, and it has a zipper, and the inside looks lined, but it's really not because it's the quilted placemat. But that is the bag, the zippered box bag. It's really easy to sew, and this would be a great beginner project. I'm going to start with the zipper, and you sew the zipper on the shortest end of the placemat, and the zipper has to be longer than the placemat. So this is a 22-inch zipper because all the zippers were the same price. I got it at Walmart, so I just got the longest one, and it was 22 inches. So I'm not going to use any pins here, and I'm not going to use a zipper foot either. I'm just going to place my zipper longer than the bag, because you don't want it to start like in the middle of the bag. So you want to place it at the end of the bag, and I have the teeth extending out. And I'm just going to use a straight stitch, and I'm going to stitch this side on. The zipper is open. And when you begin sewing, you always have to back stitch. If you don't back stitch, your stitches will come out. So I'm just going to sew this close to the teeth, but not overlapping the teeth, with a straight stitch. And I just keep sewing until I get to the end, and at the end I also back stitch. It's important to back stitch when you start and you stop. So there I am back stitching. And once I'm done, I'm going to snip my threads off, and then it's time to sew the zipper to the other side. To sew the other side of the zipper on, I've zipped up the zipper, and now I'm matching up the edges because you don't want them crooked. So I'm matching them up, and I am going to take a pin this time, and I'm going to pin that on there just at the top, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side that I did to the other side, and I will open up the zipper here. You have to open up the zipper so you can get it under your pressure foot. And now I'm going to straight stitch that side of the zipper down again with the edge not overlapping the teeth, and I will back stitch at the beginning and at the end of the stitching. And here's the zipper sewn in, and I'm going to zip the zipper shut, and I have to sew the ends, so I want the zipper closed. So now I'm going to turn this inside out so I can sew the ends, and I just reach my hand in. I'm just reaching my hand in, and then I'll just turn it inside out, and then I will sew the ends. Once I get it turned inside out, I want to flatten it, and I want to make sure that zipper's in the middle, so I'm kind of futzing with it. I want equal lengths on each side. I'm going to start on the end that does not have the zipper pull. So this is the bottom. I call it the bottom, but it's the bottom of the zipper. It's not the part with the zipper pull. So I'm going to use a straight stitch again, and I'm going to go right in that ditch where that binding is. I'm going to sew right in that ditch. It's called stitch in a ditch. So I'm going to straight stitch this, and when I get to the zipper, I am going to make sure that I stitch it, and then I back stitch over it, and then I stitch over it again so it's well secured. And again, this is the bottom of the zipper. It's not where the zipper pull is. And remember to back stitch when you start and you stop. And this is the zipper part, so I'm very carefully going to sew over it, and I sew completely over it, and then I will push my back stitch button, and I will back stitch over those same stitches, and then I will stitch over it again, and that way the zipper is nice and secure. And here I am cutting off the excess zipper, and I'm cutting it at the end. I'm just making sure not to cut into the fabric. And I want to make a little tab for the zipper, by the zipper, so you have something to hold on to when you zip it. And so that's just a piece of cotton trim, and I cut it 3 inches long, and then I'm going to fold it over onto itself like this. And I'm going to add this to the bag, and because I want this on the outside of the bag, I want the folded end, inside of the bag. This is the wrong side. So I'm going to take that little tab, and I'm placing it, inside the bag and in the middle of the zipper. It's really important that your zipper pull be open. You need to open it. I'm just opening it to like halfway down the bag. And that's the part where the zipper pull is. And I want the tab. And like I said, you have to make sure it's unzipped. And there I am folding it again. I guess I needed to show you twice. But I am going to put that inside of the bag. And I got it up a little bit, over the edge, and that's fine because this is the inside and you're going to trim that off anyway. So I'm just going to futz with it and make sure that it's in the middle of the zipper, and I'm going to use a pin to secure it so it won't slip when I sew the end of the bag. And I'm going to sew this end of the bag just like I did with the other end, but just make sure that your zipper pull is pulled open to about the middle of the bag so you'll be able to turn your bag inside out. And again, I back stitch when I start and I stop. And I also go over the zipper a couple of times just to secure it. And I kind of make sure that it's held in place so the teeth aren't too far away from each other. And here I go going over the zipper. I'm holding it in place. I stitch over it. I back stitch over it. And then I continue stitching over it again. And I'm going to trim the zipper like I did with the other one, and I just snip off the ends, and I'm just careful not to cut into the fabric. And now it's time to sew the corners. They're going to be gusseted corners, so I have a 3-inch piece of cardstock, a 3x3, and I fold it in half. And this is a red pen, and the marks go away with heat. You can either erase them, it's friction heat, or you use an iron to get rid of them. And I'm marking the sides of the bag with this red ink so I can line up my gussets so they're not all wonky. I make 4 marks, 1 on each fold, so I have the center marks there. So each end has 2 marks, 1 on each fold. So once I have my mark, I'm going to fold it in towards that seam so it becomes a triangle. And that's why you need the mark, because it needs to line up with that seam to become the triangle, and you want it straight. You don't want it curving or off to the side. So that's the whole point of the mark. And I kind of futz with it a little bit, and I can feel with my fingers if it's lined up with the seam, because the seam's a little bit bulky. So once I get it all lined up, I take my corner paper that I made, and I am just going to line it up, you know, corner to corner. I fold that seam in, and then I'm going to take my red marking pen, and I am going to draw a line across so I know where to sew. And I will do this for all 4 corners. And then once I get it marked, I'm going to do each corner individually. I'm not going to mark them all at once. I do one at a time. And so for my first corner, I got it marked, so I'm going to stick that under my pressure foot, and I'm going to straight stitch along that mark. And again, I am going to back stitch when I start and I stop. And I'm going to do this for all 4 corners. And here's a better view of how I'm getting that gusset. You just squish it, and it kind of goes where it's supposed to, but sometimes you just got to futz with it a little bit to make it nice and straight. So this is what I mean when I say you fold it in on itself and it becomes that triangle corner. And now I need to cut those triangles off, and I'm going to cut them about 1/4 inch above the red line, and I'm going to do this to all 4 corners. And now to make those seams look nice and neat, I am going to zigzag over where I cut. And again, I am going to back stitch when I start and when I stop, and I'm going to do that to all 4 of these corner seams. And after trimming off any loose threads, I am going to turn the bag inside out, and our bag is basically finished. That's it. And it's easy and it's cute. And the only thing I have to say that I will change on my next one is when I make that little tab, I'm going to put it on both ends, because it's kind of useless just on one end. I mean, the other end doesn't have it, and it really needs it. So I'm just puffing it up there so it looks super cute. And it turned out great, and lots of things can fit in this bag. I'm going to use it to hold some of my stamps, some of my rubber stamps that aren't in packages. I thought that'd be a great way to, but see, it really needs a tab right here too. So the next one I make, because I bought like 3 of these placemats to make these bags, the next one I make, I'm going to put a tab on the other end too. But that is the zippered box bag made from a placemat, a quilted placemat. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you'd like. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and please hit that subscribe button. I've made it easy for you. It's in the upper right hand corner. And then click that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Bye.